what is going on? If that had been a draw, Chelsea would have drawn 5 in a row. That is shambolic. That is absolutely disgraceful, really.
Start of next season, we don't know if Christensen's going to be there, we don't know if Rudiger's going to be there. Is that an issue with Chelsea right now?
Good morning, everybody. I want to wish you all a happy new year. I really hope that everything that you hope for this year comes true. It's been a tough year. I hope you've got through it okay, and I really hope that this next year brings you everything that you dream that it could. I'm in such a bad mood. I can't even deny it. I'm in such a bad mood. I cannot believe this Lukaku news. The video that you're about to see coming up is me and my dear friend Adi Oladipo talking about the problems at Chelsea, talking about what's going so wrong at Chelsea. But this video was filmed yesterday on TalkSport at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, before this Lukaku news broke. So everything that we said that was going wrong with Chelsea has now been amplified and trebled in terms of significance. We are now on the precipice of a disaster. Thomas Tuchel has since spoken about the Lukaku noise and has called it a distracting noise that we really don't need. And I am so angry. I am so upset. And I feel so betrayed. I think it's such a shame. Romelu Lukaku has had nothing but full, unilateral, aggressive support from Chelsea fans. It's not like he's scored 20 goals, by the way. He's had so much support from day one, constantly chanting his name. The weirdo, by the way, that is Romelu Lukaku. When he scored at Villa Park, he's kissing the badge. What on earth is he kissing the badge for if he doesn't really have any desire to play for the club? If his heart lies at Inter Milan. At Inter Milan, by the way, the ultras hate him. They constantly deface his mural. So I am so upset with Romelu Lukaku. And like I said on the video yesterday, I don't care if he scores a winner for Chelsea in a European Cup final. I will never sing his name again. What he has done here is so disrespectful to both his teammates, his manager, to the fans, to the owner, to the people who pay his wages, but crucially to his teammates and to his adoring fans. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. It was all lies. It was all lies. We're coming back to the Rafael Benitez quote about football being a lie. Romelu Lukaku constantly told us that he dreamed of playing for Chelsea all his life, and Chelsea was the holy grail, and playing at Stamford Bridge is what he dreamed of doing, to follow in the footsteps of his hero Didier Drogba. What can you make of that? How this pans out, though, I'm truly worried now. I'm truly worried. Chelsea have a history of backing players over management, incorrectly in my opinion. And Chelsea have drawn 4 out of 5 at home, and the only win in that period was when we nicked it in the last minute against Leeds. With everything that's going on with the club, this from Lukaku is earth-shattering. And I'm now really worried about what the future holds. For me, I think we need to drop Lukaku. Lukaku should not play against Liverpool. Or any other game after that, in my opinion. But he certainly shouldn't play against Liverpool. If he comes out, if he says the right thing after that, if he apologises, maybe there's a conversation to be had. But the way I feel about it now, he doesn't play against Liverpool. But can you believe everything that I've just said about Lukaku? This video that you're about to watch was what's wrong with Chelsea before the Lukaku news broke. We are a tinderbox, a pressure cooker, ready to explode. How this goes now, I do not know. But as always, I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts. So let me know what you think about Addy and I, what we're talking about, the frailties in the Chelsea team. And I was going to say I look forward to reading the comments. I do. I mean, I like the engagement. I like to hear what people are saying. But I've got a feeling it could make for very bleak reading. Anyway, on that happy note, I hope you enjoyed the video. And Happy New Year. Cheers for everything.
Rory's Chelsea side he built first and foremost was defending, strong defending, and it started like that, right? The season started so well. I mean, you couldn't score past Chelsea. Mendy was making good save after good save. Everything looked consistent at the back. You've had a couple of injuries, and it's just something's gone tragically wrong. I say that Chelsea is second in the league. It's not the worst start to their Premier League campaign, but I think a lot of Chelsea fans at the start of the season just expected a bit more from this Chelsea side.
You're absolutely right, Eddie. I think it's appalling what's happened, really. I remember sitting here debating with you whether Chelsea were capable of breaking the record set by Chelsea a decade and a half ago. The record in terms of that Chelsea managed to establish was 15 clean sheets in a season. John Terry, Petr Cech and Ricardo Carvalho. We questioned whether this Chelsea team were capable of that. Chelsea was so ruthless, so stingy, so miserly, not giving anything away. And all of a sudden, We are shambolic at the back. We are totally shambolic. Anyone can score against us. We are dropping points consistently at home. Your home form needs to be a fortress.
Yeah.
We know that Liverpool and Manchester City set the bar so high. So as Chelsea are to launch a serious and sustained bid for the league, your home form has to be there. And we are drawing virtually every game. Aside from that win that we got against Leeds United, which was a penalty last kick of the game to give us a victory, if that had been a draw, Chelsea would have drawn 5 in a row. That is shambolic. That is absolutely disgraceful, really. When you think of the money spent, when you think of the aspirations of this team, when you think of the fact that they are the European champions, what is going on?
It's interesting you say the money spent. One could argue that nothing's quite worked out of any of the money you've spent, apart from maybe Ben Chilwell, and obviously he's injured now out until the end of the season. Havertz hasn't worked, and I'm a big Havertz fan. Every time I see him, I think there's a player there, but we don't see it consistently. I know what you already think about Timo Werner. Ziyech, same as Timo Werner, if I'm honest with you. And Lukaku, who's obviously started to score the goals again, it really hasn't kind of giving you the lift you thought he would give you. But my biggest thing is, again, going back to that defence, is there a problem in the fact that it's unsettled because we don't know what's going to happen with your defenders start of next season? We don't know if Christensen's going to be there. We don't know if Rudiger's going to be there. Is that an issue with Chelsea right now? Or are they professional enough to kind of put it to the side and give their 100% regardless?
No, you're bang on. You've hit the nail on the head. I think if you look at Chelsea's 3 centre-halves yesterday, Christensen, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, all 3 are potentially moving on. All 3 potentially have their hearts elsewhere at the moment.
And talking to clubs in 6 days.
Azpilicueta is about to sign for Barcelona, we believe.
Yeah.
Rudiger is about to sign for either Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, we believe. Andreas Christensen has behaved, in my opinion, despicably because he has flirted with Chelsea consistently.
To the point where he's been left out of squads because of it.
Exactly, because what he's doing is saying, yes, I'll sign. Chelsea are making the effort to accommodate his requests, and then he's reneging on that. It's really bad. I think that's an issue. But you know, there is a broader issue that I don't think people are talking about. Because obviously Thomas Tuchel is a brilliant manager, and obviously because he has a lot of credit in the bank with the European Cup and that, people aren't asking, is he getting it right? And this system that Chelsea have is perfect. This defensive system is perfect. When you have Ben Chilwell and Reece James on form running the wings, the system works. But the job of a manager, and a prerequisite of a manager, in my opinion, is pragmatism. So if you don't have access to one of the best left-backs in the league because of a crippling injury, which is such a shame for him and for Chelsea.
Just starting to he got his place back, just starting to really go through the gears as well.
Scoring goals all the time.
Looks really good,
But when that happens, you have to accommodate. You can't play the same system and ask Marcos Alonso to do what Ben Chilwell does.
You're flat back 4 then, what do you do?
And if I had the answer, I would be,
Not with
as much as I'm enjoying sitting with you, I wouldn't be sitting with you. If I had the answers, I wouldn't be here, but I don't have the answers. But what I do know is you're asking Ben Chilwell to deputise for Marcos Alonso. Sorry, the other way around. You're asking Marcos Alonso to deputise for Ben Chilwell. He doesn't have the minerals. He doesn't have the pace. He doesn't have the flair. He doesn't have the composure on the ball. He doesn't have any of the attributes that you need to play that system. So don't ask him to do it. Equally, Chelsea played Christian Pulisic as a fullback yesterday.
Saw that.
Like, Christian Pulisic cannot play fullback.
I couldn't believe it. And don't get me wrong, we've seen him do that with Cameron Hudson-Odoi. We've seen him do it. He can kind of do it. He's got the legs.
He cannot.
Pulisic as a fullback is just... It's almost criminal.
Yeah, he can't play fullback. He can't play full. He can't tackle. He mistimes it all. He's out of position.
And it's not his fault. He's not played it.
No, it's not. It's not his fault, really. I mean, and he's trying and whatever, but his performance was bad, right? Really bad. I mean, Callum Hudson.
I think there needs to be questions about Pulisic at the end of the season.
There are now.
You know, like Liverpool.
They're happening.
Naby Keita. Like if you can't rely on them. And there was a time when I thought Pulisic was the closest thing to Hazard at Chelsea. When Hazard left, Pulisic can do the same kind of things. If he can't play 4 games in a row, then what's the point?
And
do you know what I mean? What's the point?
No, and also his form. Like, there was a time when I think it was, we went away to Turf Moor and he scored a hat-trick. Brilliant hat-trick. And you think, this guy at the time, particularly last season, was the best natural finisher at the club.
Fantastic player.
That's just not who he is anymore. He's just really, it's been a terrible season. It's been a terrible, terrible season. We don't need to talk about Kai Havertz. We don't need to talk about Timo Werner. You know how I feel. You know, Kai Havertz has a place in Chelsea folklore. But I thought he would use that situation, what happened in Porto, the fact that he has become a Chelsea legend, I thought he would use that to catapult him.
Everyone thought with a German manager coming in, I know it's simple, maybe too simplistic to think, a German manager coming in, German players, maybe that can sort of galvanise them and see the... Not happened.
Didn't happen at all. There are so many things. Like, did you see the issue yesterday? Callum Hudson-Odoi, 2-on-1. We broke through. And Callum Hudson-Odoi tries to square it and it gets cut out. How has Callum Hudson-Odoi not taken that opportunity to score a goal? You know, when you think about making the wrong decision as a footballer, careers are defined by that. Shooting when you should pass, passing when you should shoot. Making the correct decision
the top
is
level.
what makes you a footballer.
That makes you, you go from being a very good footballer to an elite level footballer.
Because if you make that wrong decision quite a lot, you're not going to be there.
So what's the thing then? Look, I mean, come on, we've nicked at the things that are going wrong with Chelsea. And I know, look, you've jokingly said if you knew the answer to this, you wouldn't be here with me. But you watch Chelsea week in, week out. You study their games. You know the players, inside out. What's the thing here to kind of get this right now? Because again, you're not far off. This is the thing with Chelsea. Man City are set and stand. I feel like me and you're in the same boat here. We look at Liverpool and Chelsea and we dissect it and we blame this and that and this and that. Man City is setting the bar so high. So we can't say Man City are godlike and we're 6 and 8 points behind them and we're rubbish. You can't be that far away.
No, but 6 to 8 points
It's two games. It's 2 games.
It's a lot, but also it's the recent form that is the issue. Like, when people say, but you're only 6 points behind, it's not over.
Okay,
I'm like,
okay.
but look at what's happened over the last 6 weeks.
Can I argue that though and say you've had injuries? Man City are one of the only teams, one of the only teams, lucky ones, that have had no problems. You've had so many issues. You wanted a game pulled off against Wolves because of issues. Man City have been lucky to have a full squad available to them. Could that not be the reason, the drop-off? Could it not be? Liverpool had a midfield that wasn't available to them. City have had a whole 23 available.
I think. Look, circumstance helps. So there will always be those circumstances. But we signed Romelu Lukaku. They didn't sign a striker. That was our moment to pull away from them. Everybody's got those things. I mean, in terms of putting this right, I think it starts at the manager, to be honest. I think it starts with the manager. The manager needs to start getting it right. We need to stop playing Pulisic as fullback. We need to stop playing Marcos Alonso at fullback. Like, they're not good enough. They can't play there. Everybody in the stadium can see it, and yet it's happening. I think the recruitment thing needs to change, something from above.
Do you make any signings in January?
Yeah, I mean, I've signed half the Brighton team for starters.
Really?
Well, I mean, we need to sign a left back.
You could get their left back, Cucurella, look really good.
Really good.
Really good.
It makes you wonder, can Tarek Lamptey do a job on that side? Like, genuinely, can he do a job on that side? Because he was masterful. He also...
Pace as well.
He kept embarrassing Marcos Alonso. I think it's one of those things. Do you remember when you were a kid at school and you were playing football against someone, and when you were running at them, you knew you could beat them? Yeah. Whatever it was, if you drop a shoulder, you know you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
And
he was doing that to Alonso. It's like, I'm going to just do you whatever I want.
Like, I'm better than you. Good luck getting the ball. Because to the stage where there was a moment, because it's right in front of where I sit there was a moment when Marcos Alonso was clearly so frustrated and probably a bit embarrassed, and the Brighton fans were really on his case, Alonso, really on his case, that he decided, you could see it come across, where I sit, it's a beautiful seat, right? You could see it come across his face. You could see that he decided to foul him. And I was like, oh God, he's going to get booked or worse here. And he did the massive swipe, and he missed. He didn't do that. It was amazing. Tarek Lamptey was too quick.
Yeah.
You couldn't even foul him. You're so slow. So that's a huge issue. The recruitment is a problem. The players that we're signing is a problem. The players that we're letting go is almost a bigger problem. That needs to be looked at. Everybody's always telling me that Marina Granovskaya is doing wonderful things because she makes money. Stop selling good players.
Yeah, I hate this. You're right. I mean, at the start of the season, who won the transfer window? Chelsea, because of their net spend. Got rid of Tammy for 36 and Tarek Lamptey. All that. Sorry, Fikayo Tomori, and everyone's like, you've got rid of 2 good players there.
Really good players.
You shouldn't be applauded for that.
I completely
They should be kept at the club. It's really bad.
Also, where's the principle? Like when Frank Lampard was manager, Chelsea fans were priding themselves on singing Tomori at the back, Tammy in attack. It was like the boys coming straight out of Cobham and all that. Like, there needs to be that. There needs to be that. And then the thing that, in my opinion, needs to be rectified immediately. We have the most passive midfield in world football. Whether they're good footballers, we don't even need to do that. I have my reservations. I think Kovacic is a glorious footballer. I don't think Jorginho does enough. But look, you can tell me they're great on the ball, whatever, and they, you know, the way that they pass 5 yards is beautiful and whatever. They don't do enough. Do you know, like incisive midfielders that decide games, midfielders that drag you to victories that you don't deserve.
Have that.
Well, kind of we do.
Kante.
Do you know who is that? Look, Kante's world class, but can't keep fit.
Yeah.
And we have to keep bringing him on.
So
Like he didn't.
Who is it?
Conor Gallagher's more that than anything at the club, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, yesterday, which was a moment when I realised that we were in trouble. Do you know who was warming up right in front of me, watching him warm up, and I was thinking, oh no, like if this is the answer,
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Ross Barkley.
Ross
Barkley was like warming up, looking like he was about to come on. I was like, oh gosh, really? And then you look at the other players that we have on the bench, and you're thinking, Hakim Ziyech, really? Kai Havertz, really? You got Ross Barkley there. You're thinking, this is just not it. And the only player that is it is N'Golo Kante, who we're trying to preserve. We're trying to nurse back to full fitness. It's worrying because I'm now starting to worry about Arsenal.
Yeah, and, well, you should, because your next game is obviously Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. Should be an interesting game, that one. Rory, always passionate about his club, understandably so.